Hi everyone, glad you could join us for yet another edition of Roundball Digest. I'm Canio Costanzo, and as always, we are joined by the dynamic duo, Fran Libonati and Bruce Leib, and let's talk a little bit about the last two games that Hazleton area played. A win against a very good Nanticoke area team, and all good things must come to an end, Fran. The Cougars drop a tough game on the road at Valley West.
Shows the balance of the league, I think, Connor. We talked about that before. Anytime you go away from home, that's why I thought the victory by the Cougars over Coughlin was such a big one, because the defeat occurred on Coughlin's home court. I think played a great game against Nanticoke, and again, you go away from home against a good Valley West team and come up a little short, but much, much too early to call, because we noticed that Nanticoke went along and defeated Coughlin, so it's going to be an exciting second half.
Coach, some thoughts on the last two games, the win at home and then the loss at Valley West.
All good things must come to an end.
You like that?
Not necessarily. But unfortunately that night, that's exactly what happened. The Coughlin game was a great comeback. As you know, you guys were there and covered both games. We came back in the fourth quarter, did a great job. Kids hung tough. They had come back the prior game against Altoona. So it was, you know, two nice comebacks in a row. We then go up to Valley West. We were actually hurt by a kid inside who really did a job. He had, you know, we had him for like 13, 14 rebounds, 16 points. He missed maybe 4 layups. He would have been in the 20s with, you know, 14, you know, rebounds. So he really hurt us. We didn't do the job defensively on Phil Boncheski. We scored 46 points. The way we've been playing, that should have been enough. We held Boylan down, didn't score in the second half, or had 3 points in the second half, didn't score in the fourth quarter of the game. Phil Boncheski just did what he wanted to do. It was a difficult loss, but because I thought we'd do a better job with him.
Well, we'll see if Hazleton area can learn from that ball game, and we'll talk about that game and the Nanticoke area game as well. We've got to take a break. More when Roundball Digest comes back.
In the last year, did you get married? Get unmarried? Change jobs? Change diapers? Lease a car? Sell a house? Start a business? End a career? Every time your life changes, so do your taxes. Shouldn't you have someone who can help you pay less or get back more? Agent R. Block.
North Wyoming Street in Hazleton, Center Street in Freeland.
Furniture, furniture, Mariano's. Furniture, furniture, Mariano's. Furniture, furniture, Mariano's. Furniture, furniture, Mariano's. Mariano's.
Electricity can be extremely dangerous if not handled safely, so play it safe. Hayden Electric has been providing a safe and reliable service to residential, commercial, and industrial communities for over 20 years.
I would like to thank all our customers for making us one of Northeast Pennsylvania's leading electrical contractors for over 20 years.
Go ahead, challenge us.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of America have a challenge.
A super challenge.
We need your help. We need your time. It starts with one kid, 1 hour, $1, 1 call. It starts with one person, and you're it.
Take on the super challenge for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Call 1-800-854-CLUB. Find out what you can do. You gotta call this number. Keep kids like us off the streets and out of trouble.
SAFE, Supporting Autism and Families Everywhere, is a nonprofit group of parents of children with autism interested in seeking out and sharing information, discussing difficulties and issues, exchanging ideas with the goal of helping people with autism live a full and independent lifestyle. Informal settings provide the right balance between leisure and productive interaction. SAFE, Supporting Autism and Families Everywhere, 475 South Franklin Street in Wilkes-Barre.
Back here on Roundball Digest, well, guys, let's focus our attention. Saturday night, Hazleton area had to go up against a team, Fran Libonati, that they had lost to a few weeks ago. So the mentality, obviously, Hazleton area wants to play a lot better against a very good Nanticoke area team.
Several things were shown that night. It shows again the Coach Live's adjustments. I think we lost by over 20 points to Nanticoke first half. Yet he comes back against a very, very good team, which they proved a few nights later in defeating Coughlin. Plays almost a near-perfect game. I think we were able to see how talented Nanticoke is, because near the end of that ball game, they started hitting the threes. I think early in the game, what shocked me is Coach Live had those guys with under double figures once again defensively in their face, and I thought did a perfect job against maybe the best shooting team in the league.
Yeah, that's something that I did want to bring up before we get into the Valley West game, is defensively, this Nanticoke area team has several players. If you give them an open shot, they've got several players who shoot the ball very well. Was very impressed, especially the inside game. We talked a little bit about the fact that, you know, height advantage, maybe Nanticoke has a slight advantage. You worked defensively on the boards very well in that game.
Good assessment, right?
Thank you. I'm learning from you, so.
Well, no, actually an excellent assessment. We, with Wardecki and Charnecki, same typical Nanticoke names, same result, all excellent shooters. They always have 3 or 4 kids that could really put the ball up, as in past years. Wardecki's about 6'3", 6'4", comes outside and really hits shots. Also, the other kid I'm trying to think of besides Zarnecki, Gorney, the lefty.
Adam Gorney.
They're the 3 best shooters. We really had to get at them, which we call, you know, firing out on our matchup. We did a much better job. Tried to play them man. That's the wrong team in the league, I think, to play man-to-man. If one team has as much or more quickness than Hazleton area, I think it's Nanticoke. They're very quick. So they hit their shots up there. Down here we played the matchup. They didn't.
Who was the key player on that Nanticoke area team? Was it Bargella inside, who you thought, if we can contain this young man, it starts with him? Would it have been Gorney? Who did you think?
I thought there were several keys. It's not just one. Bargella, I felt Matt Tucker would have a good game against, and he did. The game up there, Matt had the goggles on, couldn't see very well. Then I thought they have 3 shooters, but 1 real good penetrator out of the 3, and I thought that was Gorney. So I guess Gorney would be a key because he could shoot and penetrate. But the guy that really hurt us was Wardecki in the first game. So we talked about all 3 shooters.
You bring up a good point. I'm wondering sometimes when you do come up against somebody, you know, either has a real strong outside or inside game, you just make adjustments with your match because you don't necessarily say we're going to scrap the match and go man. You just make other assignments.
Well, we stressed who we want to stop. We can do a lot of things out of the matchup, like extend it. But, you know, again, jumping to the Valley West game, which we talked about, we didn't make very good adjustments. Maybe we should have went man earlier and tried that. But our problem was Phil Boncheski. And whether you're playing matchup or man, he was kicking our butt, you know.
Let's get into the Wyoming Valley West game right now. We're going to show you some of the first half highlights in just a couple of seconds, but Fran, I want to pose this question to you. He's only a sophomore. He's going to get better, and I'm sure you'll agree. This young man's just only going to get better.
Coach Leib had told me about him at the beginning of the season, and he was impressed with him last year. In fact, he played very well against the Cougars last year as just a freshman, and he said he has the big man moves. You know, he's able to move around the basket, words off the defender, able to hit the short jumper, which means he can't really cheat too much on, because if you're going to double down, he moves out to the baseline, hit some jumpers. And again, Coach is right. There are certain times that if you go match, maybe man, maybe you want to put some pressure on him, but he's really a talent.
And in the first game that was played at Hazleton Area High School, early in that game, the first and second quarter, he was hitting those 8 to 10 foot jumpers, and that was one of the reasons why Wyoming Valley West got the early lead and ended up winning that game.
Right. He just played very well in both games. And, you know, Matt didn't have one of his better games up there the other night, and Matt's been playing very well. He just has to get back after it. We have to forget that one.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. Again, a game you saw right here on WYLN. Coach?
Bobby Bryan. Here's Bobby Bryan opening up. I believe that's the opening sequence. Shooting the ball off the dribble. Hits the shot. Matt Tucker in the post makes a beautiful move. I thought this might be one of the things coming during the game. We didn't see it much after that. Matt got in foul trouble, and there's a nice pass from Matt to John Veet wide open. We had a nice start. We went up 8-2. Then I think we started taking bad shots, and they were patient. Matt Tucker on the boards. He gets a very good start in the ball game. We're moving the ball up. Michael Barletta, you'll see a real nice move here. Michael showing actually a great move, I thought, with a jump through, left to right move. Michael had a great game. Bill Boncheski can pass the ball also. We're cutting Scott Vinovorsky, Johnny Rossick, former official clapping. Now coach, there's a nice up and under move. And he stays with it, as you'll see. This is the thing about Boncheski. He just bangs and bangs and bangs and stays with it. He's a hard worker. Michael Barletta, again, looked like he got hit a little bit there, but he just steals the ball back and ends up with a three-point play. So they call the second one after getting hit the first time. He three-point play there. Michael coming into Bobby Bryan. Missed shot. There's Michael Barletta again, left-handed, all over the floor against Valley West on Tuesday night. And there he is again. And again.
Pretty determined young man.
Yeah, he threw that one up lefty and got fouled. You know, like I said, the guys, look, we got out-rebounded. 14, I guess it wasn't. He had all 14ers. Michael Barletta is keeping us in the basketball game because we didn't have a real lot of offense besides Michael Barletta. John Veet with a nice turnaround jumper in the lane. John's just a sophomore. I think he's going to get better and better also.
To go back with what you were saying before, Coach, the offense looked really good. I mean, you got some excellent shots in there, and like you said, 46. Normally, that's about an 8 to 10 point win.
Well, we scored 46, but like I said, 22 Michael Barletta. So I wasn't really, you know, yes, it's enough points. No, I wasn't pleased with our offense because the rest of the guys didn't shoot well for the most part. I think Lenny Leshko went in there, and I mentioned that in the paper, played real hard. Our kids always play hard, but we were forcing shots when we were up 8-2. Just, you know, one pass, go up. And that's a sign of a team that's not experienced. And that disappointed me because I thought we were coming with the experience. Use your head. You know, you're up 8-2, you have to take good shots. And that's how you put a team away or, you know, increase your lead.
Matt Tucker had a couple fouls, really didn't get a lot of playing time in the second period. That certainly did not help.
No, it didn't help. Maybe Matt could have gotten off and really played well. He didn't play real well with the fouls. And we don't, you know, it's only speculation what would have happened if he wouldn't have been in foul trouble. But, you know, he ends up with like 4 points in the ball game. And we certainly need him to score more than that against a kid like Boncheski.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts going into the locker room during this ball game?
Not real happy. You know, I think we were down 7, like 26-19. Not real happy. Not real happy with the effort. Not real happy with the end of the half. We threw the ball around. A play was developed just out there. You know, a long pass was thrown out of bounds. I was like a little shocked at that. They get the ball, then score. So instead of cutting it to 4 maybe or 3, now we're down 8. I'm sorry, that was at the end of the third quarter. But I wasn't happy at the end of the third quarter at all.
Yeah, it's uncharacteristic because
halftime not happy, end of the third quarter not happy.
So. Okay. Well, guys, we've got to take a break, but of course we've got second half highlights of the Wyoming Valley West Hazleton area game coming up. But first, these words.
How does it feel when you've got showtime? Call right now and you'll feel like your best friend just brought over the world's best movies. Like your favorite uncle just gave you 2 seats at ringside. Like your favorite director made movies with stars you want to see. And family specials to watch with your kids. You can have it all if you call. So call and get connected to Showtime now.
Hazleton Women's Care Center has proudly been servicing the needs of Hazleton area women since 1994. Specializing in obstetrics and gynecology, Dr. Scott Muir is trained in all aspects of women's care. An extensive list of procedures can be performed in office. We also offer genetic counseling and high-risk pregnancy management services in cooperation with Lehigh Valley Prenatal Services. No need to travel for experienced care. Visit Hazleton Women's Care Center.
Bookman's Auto Center. We go the extra mile. Napa Parts. All the leading name brand tires. Tire balancing. State-of-the-art front-end alignment. All major and minor auto repairs. Engine rebuilding. State inspections. Bookman's, your convenient auto service center. Check out these specials.
Oil change, $18.95. Flush and fill, $34.95. Wheel alignment starting at $28.95. Tune-ups starting at $44.95.
Bookman's Auto Center. We go the extra mile.
No beauty tips. No rock stars. No couch chit-chat.
We'll be right back.
CNN has what you're looking for, because CNN has more news in the morning with frequent weather updates, more sports and business reports. So get off the couch and switch to Early Edition, weekday mornings on CNN.
Security Savings, locally owned and operated in the greater Hazleton area since 1889. If you're banking in Weatherly, Drums, the Laurel Mall, or downtown Hazleton, you'll be doing business with old friends. Stop by one of our offices today to open an account and see why Security Savings has been named a recipient of a 5-star rating by Bauer Financial for the highest level of banking excellence. Security Savings of Hazleton, Weatherly, and Drums, where people count since 1889.
Back here on Roundball Digest with Fran Libonati and Bruce Leib, I'm Connie Costanzo. Well, Coach, let me ask you, you're coaching Hazleton area going into the locker room. Now, we'll give you a hypothetical situation. What's the one thing you want to emphasize to your team as the third period's about to begin?
The thing that was a little bit surprising is, the Coach Leib said, the 6-point lead, and we're suddenly have a 7-point deficit. And I think, as he mentioned, you look at the defense again, you realize you're going to probably have to help on Von Chesky, try to box, keep him off the boards, because, you know, he makes the team go. But it's a very good team, and you're playing them away from home. We talked at the beginning of the year on parity in the league, and we had said to Coach Leib that no one go undefeated, and he smiled at me, because if it's not the Hazleton area Cougars, no one else has ever gone undefeated. I don't think so in the league. So again, now this year, you know, Wyoming Valley West, of course, has it's a nice shot, they think, for the second half, but they have some tremendously talented teams on their schedule, and I still say the Cougars will have an awful lot to say about the second half. Not only, you know, of that particular ball game, I think what the adjustments he's made. He said he was not happy with the way we started rushing some shots up there, because one thing about, you know, there's patience and sometimes there's a delay. Hazleton area takes good shots, they're patient. They don't really slow the ball game down the way some coaches do. And normally when they are patient, they get the extra pass, the good shot. That didn't happen that night, and that's why he was a little frustrated.
I want to talk to you a little bit about one player who you had emphasized when we were watching the first half highlights, who really carried Hazleton area, Michael Barletta's play. Has there been a more steady player on your team this year? I don't think so.
No, he's been the steadiest. He's been our court leader. He's a gritty, tough kid. He's a streak shooter. When he gets hot, he could hit the threes. He takes the ball to the basket as well as any kid his size I've seen in a long time. Mm-hmm. You know, he's about 5'10", 5'11". He could really move. He's strong, real tough kid. And you know, I mentioned to the guys, I said, hey, everybody comes to play against Valley West like Michael Barletta. We win the game. And that's not to knock our kids. I love our kids. You know, we have some young kids, but you know, I thought we could get that one, and I thought. You know, they shot 12 for 24 from the free throw line. The one positive, we'd shot fouls well, but we were like 10 for 13. And, you know, so really, is it a 4-point game? Most of the time, they're going to hit more than 50% of their free throws. Mm. So, you know, we didn't play real well, I didn't think.
Yeah, I was just going to say, in Michael's case, this is what you'd expect your veteran to do, and I think that's what Coach Leib is saying. Last year, he started, I guess, every one of our games till his injury, and he has that type of confidence. And I think this is what you expect from upperclassmen, and Michael's really carried the load.
One player who really played well in the first half, and was one of the reasons John Rossick said after the ball game, one of the reasons why Valley West won the game, was the play of Matt Hoppel, who had maybe his best game all year long.
Matt's a very good player. I know Matt from AAU ball in the summer. I've seen him play against my son in junior high basketball. Last year, in fact, he played 9th grade, which, you know, when Chris and some of these other kids were in 8th grade. But he's a fine player. He could play the point or 2 guard or maybe even 3. So it didn't surprise us. I was not happy that he was left wide open. We had some breakdowns on our our zone. We knew what they were going to do, and that was a little frustrating. But, you know, the key term is you're frustrating. I shouldn't have been that frustrated, and I don't coach as well when I am, but, you know, kids are left wide open. You know, that's part of the deal. Our kids will bounce back. We have a good group of kids. I'm very happy with them, and nobody said we'd win every game. You know, look at Coughlin and Nanticoke that night. Tuesday night, Coughlin scores 35 points. Nanticoke beats them 48-35. They have a loss. Now we have to hope, you know, that Coughlin could come back and beat Valley West like they did in the first half.
Well, let's take a look at some of the second half highlights. Again, a game you saw right here on WYLN. Coach?
There's Michael Barletta with a 3, and he gets heated up. Like I said, he can drop him. And he'll stick him with somebody right in his face. John Veet has a real good look at the basket there. John's a good shooter facing the basket from about 15 to 17 feet. Lenny Leshko with a nice pass into Michael, and just real nice turnaround on a kid that's also a good athlete, Tugger McGear, who gets up in the air.
Defense out pretty well there, Coach.
Yeah, that was a set play. Here's Hoppel, hits a shot with Michael running in his face.
That was the end of the third period.
Yeah, that was after we threw the ball away. That was discouraging.
That's a big play.
Real big play there. Real big turnaround. Nice block by Matt Tucker.
And we're going to see another one coming up right here.
You know, Matt did not play a terrible game. Certainly, we don't want to pin the loss on Matt Tucker. It's a team loss. Matt's been playing very, very good basketball. It was a nice move by Michael Barletta again. It was his night. He just got in foul trouble. And there he takes the ball from Boncheski. Chris Slibe looking up the court. He's inserted in the game. Michael doesn't take one of his better shots, but again, we're trying to make something happen. He gets fouled behind the three-point line. Nice move by Boncheski, up and under, and stays with it. That's what he does real well. He got good position on Matt and just stayed with it. Matt with a nice pass into John Veet. The key there is we had to have Matt on the floor longer. He did some real nice things while he was out there.
Like that?
Like blocking that shot. Yep, he's been doing that. He's been playing real good basketball. And I just want to, you know, I'm selfish. I want him out there all the time, Matt Tucker. Turnaround jumper, beautiful turnaround by Matt. Here's Bobby Bryan. It's a set play. I think we cut it to 1 there. And then they come down. McGear had some big shots in the ball game. I thought he scored like 15. He scored 7 because every shot was like a lancer. You know, it just nailed you. A sword.
It seemed like he hit the big shot when it basically would stop a run that Hazel Canaria had.
He did it like 3 times. He did it like 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Mike, we talked a little bit about Phil Boncheski, Matt Tucker getting into foul trouble, ending up fouling out. Obviously, that was, I don't want to say a devastating part of the game, but when you're trying to front somebody as good as Phil Boncheski and your best center gets knocked out of the game with fouls, that hurts.
Yeah, it certainly hurt us. I think the big thing, he wasn't in that second quarter. Therein lies, you know, he did some nice things, and Matt had been playing really good basketball. And if you remember, he'd been staying out of foul trouble. I didn't have him on them. He'd been averaging about 27, 28 minutes a game at least. There were games where he actually played 30 minutes, and that's great because Matt had a lot of trouble with fouls last year. But you know, again, not every team has a Phil Boncheski. So that's right. Let's tip our hat to the kid. He's a hard worker. He's gotten stronger from last year. He's put some weight on, and you know, they're both good players.
Well, we have to take another break. We will come back and talk a little bit about the next opponent for Hazleton area. But a reminder, here now is a look at some of the upcoming games for the Hazleton area Cougars.
When it comes to children's clothing, Terry's Toggery is the name concerned parents turn to. For over 25 years, Terry's Toggery has been providing northeastern Pennsylvania with quality children's clothing, from infant to size 14. Parents have come to rely on Molly Ruther for the most precious, hand-selected styles available. From the most unique baby gifts, memory boxes, christening, and Holy Communion outfits to the latest children's fashions, you can always count on Terry's Toggery for personalized, children-friendly service.
Imagine you're a peanut. No, really. Work with me here. You're a peanut, and life as a peanut is great. You've got wonderful peanut friends and a great peanut family. Everything in your peanut world is just wonderful. And then, in a blink of an eye, something happens, and all that comes to an end. If you're a smart peanut, you'll have insurance with the Frank DeAndre Insurance Agency.
High school sports on WYLN is brought to you by Rasnell's, The Fishing Hole, A1 Supermarket, Countryside Restaurants, Linda Farley, Audiologist, The Laurel Mall, Johnny Morano, TJ Walton Fuel Oil, Johnson's Pharmacy, Gebhardt's, Bookman's Auto Center, Service Electric Cablevision, Ferdinand's, Groceries Plus, Mellon Bank, and Dr. Michael Weiss. Ready to wrap up this edition of Roundball Digest. Coach, how about some thoughts on Crestwood?
We needed a victory in the first half over Crestwood, and the same situation presents itself. We have them at home. We played a very good game against a very good Crestwood team. Remember, they beat Valley West.
Yep.
And they beat Valley West without Wyrock playing, their best player. So I tell our kids that. We'll prepare hard for them. On any given night, Tuncanic's starting to win now. There is no weak team in the Valley Conference this year.
As always, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure being with both of you, Fran Libinati and Bruce Live. And also, thank you for joining us as well. I'm Connie Costanzo. We'll talk to you next week here on Roundball Digest.